contemptuous criticism, both, as Eisenman has observed, were ridiculed in a manner unbecoming their situation, and with such ferocity as to make one wonder. No one dared support them. No one dared risk the wrath of the now solidly entrenched consensus. And the scholarly sheep, as Eisenman says, fell into line. So far as Roth and Driver were concerned, their interests and reputations weren't confined exclusively to Qumran research. In consequence, they simply retired from the arena, not deeming it worthwhile to pursue the matter further. That this should have been allowed to happen testifies to the timidity and docility of other researchers in the field. It remains a black mark in the record of Qumran scholarship. If the international team had exercised on a monopoly before, their position now appeared to be unassailable. They had outmaneuvered two of their most potential formidable adversaries, and their triumph seemed to be complete. Roth and Driver had been driven to silence on the subject. Allegro had been discredited. Everyone else who might pose a threat had been intimidated into compliance by the late 1960s and early 1970s. The hegemony of the international team was virtually absolute. By the mid-1980s, such opposition as existed to the international team was scattered and disorganized. Most of it found expression in the United States through a single journal, Biblical Archaeology Review. In its issue for September-October 1985, Barr reported a conference on the Dead Sea Scrolls held at New York University the previous May. It repeated the statement by Professor Morton Smith made at that conference. I thought to speak of the scandals of the Dead Sea documents, but these proved too numerous, too familiar, and too disgusting. It observed that the international team were governed, so far as can be ascertained, largely by convention, tradition, collegiality, and inertia, and it concluded, the insiders, the scholars with the text assignments, T.H. Gaster, Professor Emeritus of Barnard College, Columbia University calls these insiders the Charmed Circle, have the goodies to drip out bit by bit that gives them status, scholarly power, and a wonderful ego trip. Why squander it? Obviously, the existence of this factor is controversial and disputed. Barr called attention to the residue of frustration and resentment built up among scholars of proven ability who had not been admitted to the Charmed Circle. It also, by implication, called attention to the benefits reaped by institutions such as Harvard University, where both Cross and Strugnell were stationed and were pet graduate students were